Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, ciao, bonjour, namaste, jumbo. Bienvenidos. Hey, my name is Jedley. This is Reading with Your Kids. We're coming to you from the beautiful, historical, book-loving neighborhood of Reedville, the loveliest neighborhood in all of Boston. Reading with Your Kids is a show that celebrates the power of stories. Stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us how strong families become when they read together. Whether you're joining us from your kitchen table, your classroom, or your car, we are so very happy that you're here. Please help us grow our mission by telling all of your family and friends about the show and let them know that they can hear us on the WREB AM/FM 24/7 radio network. And they can find us on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Podcast Addict, Audible, Amazon Music, Castbox, YouTube. Wherever you find your favorite shows, you can find Reading with Your Kids. Really wonderful show for you today. First up, coming to us from the North Shore of Boston, Jodi Tatiana Charles. She is here to celebrate going to the festival. Later in the show, Chris Tarantino is here to celebrate Bed Slime Blues. Hey, my friends, this episode of Reading with Your Kids is brought to you by the Fred the Snake series, written by Dr. Peter Cotton. Hey, I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to take your kids on an unforgettable adventure around the United States without leaving your couch? Well, buckle up, because Dr. Peter Cotton's Fred the Snake and Friends Explore the USA series is your family's ticket to adventure. From historical landmarks and bustling cities of the East Coast to the heartland wonders and hidden gems of central USA, all the way to the breathtaking parks and sun-soaked coastlines of the West. Fred the Snake and his friends are your guides on a journey filled with fun, friendship, and discovery. Kids just won't be entertained. They'll be learning about geography, culture, and the incredible diversity of our country, one adventure at a time. These beautifully illustrated books are perfect for curious kids, road trip dreaming, and families who love to explore together. So whether you're planning your next vacation or just imagining one, let Fred the Snake and his friends be your guide. Explore the East, discover the Central, adventure through the West. Fred the Snake and Friends Explore the USA, East, Central, and West by Dr. Peter Cotton. Great additions to your family library, because the greatest journeys we take are the ones we share with our kids. Hey, this episode of Reading with Your Kids is brought to you by Fart Boy and Reeky Dog, a great, fun book by Joan Hullab. Hey, it's time to meet the smelliest superhero you've ever encountered. Introducing Fart Boy and Reeky Dog from New York Times best-selling author Joan Hullab. At P.U. Smellementary School. Yes, you heard that right. An ordinary kid named Bartholomew makes an extraordinary discovery. His farts have superpower. But wait, it gets even crazier. There's a secret lab hidden beneath the school. An evil alien scientist named Professor Gravy Pants and a stinky sidekick turned good guy Reeky Dog. Together, they must stop a world domination plan that really stinks. That's right. This is a superhero story packed with action, friendship, and lots of laughs your kid will be talking about all day long. And guess what? This is just the beginning, because Fart Boy and Reeky Dog is a hilarious 2-book series your family is going to love. So, if your kids love superheroes, if they love goofy, giggly humor, and if they love stories that celebrate being different, then it's time to let it rip with Fart Boy and Reeky Dog. Grab your copy today and get ready to laugh, read, and discover that even the stinkiest powers can be used for good. My friends listening, you're lucky that I remembered at some point to hit the record button, because me and our guests, we've been chatting about Massachusetts, Salem, Mass, and restaurants, and we've had a great time. Wish you were there, but we're going to have a great time still. Our guest is here today to celebrate her new picture book. It's called Going to the festival. Please welcome to the show, Jodi Tatiana Charles. Jodi, how are you?
I'm doing amazing, Jed. Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to talk to you. And yes, the pre-talk was so much fun.
I get excited anytime I have a neighbor, and you up in Marblehead. We can't walk to each other, but I'm talking to guests in Germany and Philippines. So anywhere in Massachusetts, you're a neighbor. And my daughter lives near you, so I'm very familiar with the area. It's a beautiful part of Massachusetts, the North Shore of Massachusetts, and so much to see and do. And we mentioned Salem and Halloween and all that craziness, but there are museums and there's theater and food, and it's just a marvelous place to go.
I think like the North Shore overall. I mean, I was raised in the South Shore, and I loved my childhood. It was absolutely amazing. But coming in the North Shore, I was always coming here when I worked in the city, and I had so many friends here, and I just knew, I'm like, when I am able to not be in the city anymore, this is where I want to be. And it is the quintessential way that I grew up, where neighbors know everybody. We sit there and talk to one another. You're walking down the street, and when relatives and friends come to visit, they're like, "Are you the mayor?" Like, everyone says hi. I'm like, we just say hi. That's what we do. We make eye contact and we say hi. We say good morning. It's like, you don't have to know the person by name, but it's just what we do as neighbors.
Yep. Yes. My beautiful wife, who grew up in Dorchester, the Dorchester neighborhood of Boston, when we're walking and I say hi to people, she says, "Who's that?" And I go, "The neighbor."
Yeah.
That's, just...
You made eye contact, and if you made eye contact, I'm saying hello.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and if it almost made eye contact, I'm going to try to get the contact going so I can say hello to you.
That doesn't work with my New York relatives, so when I'm in New York and I do the same thing, they're like, "Stop saying hello to everybody."
Well, one of the things people are going to be saying hi to each other is at the festival. Tell us about this book.
So, again, as I mentioned, when I go through any experience in life, just to get it out of my head, I just write. I'm a big fan of just writing, getting all your thoughts out, whether it's a good experience or whether it's a bad experience. Like, I just love to write it down and then just feel like that I'm free from it. I was the president. Actually, I volunteered for 10 years at the Marblehead Festival of the Arts, which is one of the things that I love doing, that whole entire civic engagement. And I was asked to be the president for 2 years, and it was a lot of work. People don't take, they don't understand the concept of when you see a festival, a fair, or carnival, there's so much work on the back end to get that 1 day or 5 days or 1 month event going. And so for 2 years, I help organize and market this festival with the most amazing team of people that volunteer. It's like 100% volunteer-based festival. It's in its 60th year this year. It takes 300 volunteers just to run it. And it was just mind-boggling. And then for me, once I was done, I was like, okay, it's still in my head. It's just still there. And so writing it down was, what's the best way to get the story out? And to also thank all the people that were supporting me in the past 2 years, was a children's book. A children's book, not only a children's book in regards to the it's only for kids. It's for anyone that really wants to remember their past, remember those activities that they went to when they were younger, remember those volunteering moments, that civic engagement, remembering just like how all the stores and the restaurants really, really thrived during that time, because those annual events happen every single year, but those stores and those restaurants, they depend on that, because that's whether it's the individuals that are in the town or individuals visiting. It is so important for that engagement. The culture and the arts and the music that we hear, but we kind of we're moving so fast, but you're sitting down at a park with your blanket and your basket and you're really just enjoying the music, and you're going to different galleries that are open. There's just so much that that's involved with the festivals or fairs or carnivals. And so I wanted to actually capture all those moments in my life, as well as the 2 years of being the president, and put them all in one book. So that way, no matter if you're in Marblehead or if you're anywhere else around, you're seeing something that you're like, wait, oh my God, this is me. Oh, was she in my town? Was she at my event? It really touches everyone's life at one point of their life.
Yeah. Those events, I was a part of so many of those events. I did educational magic shows for 35 years. And so during the school year, it's
a magician too. Wow.
But on the weekends and in the summertime, just part of festivals, and they are so much fun, and they bring the community together in ways that we forget how special those moments are.
Especially when people are saying that the communities are falling apart and people are so involved in technology and they're like, the kids are on their phone. That is true. But those kids love when that annual event comes, and they're like, I go, you go from the point where like, mom, dad, can we go, grandma, nana. I go to the point where like, I'm of the age where I can go with my friends. And then to the point where you're like, you're like, as an adult, remember, let's just go. It's just fun. Let's just walk around. And then you bring your kids and you do it all over again. And so it's like a memory that is so embedded in all of us that even like an individual that thinks that they've like, well, I've never done anything as a child, they'll remember something that is like, that's so familiar to them, that it's an annual something that happened in their neighborhood, whether it's a city, a town, we'll call it, whether it's like a different country, a village. Everyone has something that they remember that happens every year. They're like, I can relate to this. And that's the biggest thing for me, where it doesn't have to be the carnival, the fair, or the festival. It has to be something that is relatable to you, that happens every single year, that's embedded in your culture, embedded in your heart, that you're like, okay, this is something that I'm going to carry with me forever.
Yeah. You know, as you were speaking, I had this memory of being in the Cub Scouts and marching in the Memorial Day parade every year, and then going, we thought we were so cool because we went for the banquet after the parade. And I remember they served us with the waitresses, we'll call them Mexican bananas. And they were maduros, a fried plantain, sweet plantain. And that was the only place I ever experienced it until I married my beautiful wife, who's originally from Puerto Rico. And we went to a restaurant. Goes, oh, there they are, the Mexican bananas again. She's like, well, this is.
What are you talking about? Well, and then you just like, and you just saying that, just remember like where I was a brownie and a Girl Scout. I go, a brownie and a Girl Scout.
To many people.
I know, there you go. And it was so funny because we had, every year we looked forward to the big Girl Scout Jamboree. So it was the Blue Jays, the Girl Scouts, and the Brownies, and every floor, it was a barrack in Concord, Mass, a barrack, and we were all on different floors, and we had to behave, but the pillow fights were absolutely amazing and over the top. But I hadn't thought about that in forever until you just said Cub Scout.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes, is someone saying something, or you seeing something, a magician, or like someone that's painting your face. Those memories are just like, they're stored. They're stored in our head, and I go, it doesn't take much for them to come back, and oh my God, like I go, you're the stories that come out of it, because I always say everyone has a story in them. I go, and the second that you say something, our stories come out.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I talk about here on the podcast, and there are a lot of parents who are working really hard and they're really busy, and the last thing they think they want to do is to sit down and read a book after a hard day. But these are the moments when something in that picture book triggers a memory. And share that memory with your kids. Talk about it. Just, hey, I remember when I was a kid, we had these things, and people called them Mexican bananas, and I was a Girl Scout, and we had pillow fights, and your kid gets to look at you in a totally different way.
They see you as they're like, oh my God, you're a kid.
Right.
Like, you were a kid too. Like, because they don't see you as, when you say like, I was a kid, don't say, like, it's usually a scolding moment where like, don't say, like, I was a kid, I remember. And they look at you like, uh-huh. But that's the moment where they really see you light up. And when they see you light up, you're like, oh wow, you really were a kid like me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And those moments are so bonding. You just connect with kids, and that's the best thing you can do in your life, is to build that connection with your kids.
Not even just with your kids, but I mean, I'm Auntie Jodi to everyone. I'm known for creating adventures with the kids, so they hit a certain age. And so one of my little nieces, like Phoebe was like, Auntie Jodi, you've taken all the kids out. I go, and everyone gets to have their day. She's like, I haven't had my day. And during the pandemic, it was towards the tail end. I'm like, you know what, Phoebe, it's your day. Her mom called and said she has a day off from school. I go, she goes to private school. Like, can you just take her out? I'm like, I'm picking you up at 5 a.m. I go, and I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do. We did all New England states in one day, and I dropped her off at 11 p.m. It was awesome for her. It was awesome for me. It was so much fun. Like, we went zip lining. We went to the Dr. Seuss Museum. We went to the mansions in Connecticut. I mean, look, we just enjoyed our day. We went for a run in Maine, and she's like, never have I ever had a moment like that. I'm like, Auntie Jodi creates moments. And the book for me is a moment where it will bring out that adventure where you are out with your friends and your parents can see you. They're adults seeing you, but you're out with your friends and you're really enjoying every step of a festival. And you're like really you're integrated where you're not just part of it, you're inside of it, where you're volunteering to like paint faces for kids, or you're helping with picking up trash, or you're literally just like enjoying the fact that like, oh, hey, I was a participant and I won a prize, or I was in a race. These kids really open up the window for different opportunities because all 4 characters offer something different and every person can see themselves in the book.
So let's talk about the 4 characters.
So we have Tanner. Tanner is our sailor. So he is like really just like engaging. He's always like, if you could be on the water all the time, that's where Tanner would be. You have Sebastian. Sebastian is we'll call it our runner. Plays soccer, but also is our runner. Very athletic, very goofy, constantly just juggling things on his head. We have Beatrice. Beatrice is our singer. She is like very funky in her style. She has like a blue strip strip in her hair, and she's just like really creative. But she's like sings. I mean, if she could just sing all day, that's all she would do. And she's always just observant of what's going on around her. And then we have Danielle. Danielle is our quiet soul. She's our artist. She just loves observing. She just like likes to be engaged, but she doesn't have to. She's engaged and she's part of the world without thinking about being too much. So she just like observes and then she draws and she just is constantly trying to bring people together. Each character has a little bit of myself and my illustrator, Julia. Julia Potvin is my illustrator. She is mind-blowing. She's awesome. She is a student at the Wrigley School of Design in Sarasota, Florida. And she literally, I gave her the script and to sit there and get a page back, I'm like, how did she get in my head? How did she get in my head? Or she'd give me a page back and it was just like beyond what I would have in my head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Was that difficult for you to, as you're writing the book, remembering I got to leave room for the illustrator to tell part of this story?
No, it wasn't, only because I had the story written. So I had the story written. I mean, as the festival was going on, the story was being written in my head. And then I would just go for walks. And all of a sudden, it's like you're doing that whole entire deja vu moment where this is where this was and this is what there. And it was just so much fun to replay it. And then sitting down and writing, and I would write in different pieces. So it was in different orders, which was really great for me because I wasn't just like doing it in a systematic order. I was just writing ideas and thoughts, Post-it notes all over the house. I'm a queen of Post-it notes. For some people that come in, they're like, what is happening? I'm like, I know, my brain is on the outside, in my home. And then once I started putting it together, we started working together. I mean, it took us 2 years to do this book. And so we're very busy. We are, like, I travel a lot for work. And so putting it together, getting the pages down. And then we brought in Alexandra, our editor. Alexandra lives in Boston. And for her, it was great because she never knew what the festival was. But Julia and I we knew. So Julia was my intern during the festival. And so we knew, we both live here. We knew what was happening. We knew what we were planning. So in our minds, we thought we had it covered. And then when Alexandra got into it, she's like, well, this doesn't make sense. Like, I go, well, what happens here? And is this day or is this night? And so for us, we're like, in our brain, we knew it was day, but we didn't write it down. Or it wasn't expressed through the illustrations. So it was great to actually bring in Alexandra because then she honed it in. And then the 3 of us just like boom, 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 boom. And then once it was done, we're like, aha, this is why it takes 3 people to do it the right way.
Yeah. I love it. It seems like, boy, there's so much going on. And there's so much going on in the book. There's so much going on in your mind. But it sounds like this is a book that would be a real fun experience. Again, just reliving what happened when I was a kid and what can we do? You know, I'm imagining if there's an event that's going to be happening in the future, the family's going to check it out. Like I have on my calendar here, the Japanese Fest is happening in Boston at the end of April.
Yeah.
It's like, but if my kids were young now, we'd sit down and start reading books. And what are we going to do at the Japanese festival? What are we going to see? What do you want to do?
So I think that that's the fun part about it. This book is evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter when or where you buy it. I go, there's always going to be these events that happen every single year. So that's number one. Number two, the vibrancy. So it's from birth. If literally you're reading from, you want to get those reading habits early, all the way up till the 12 years, age 12. But even beyond that. Why? Because number one, it's all about where you are. So think about that. Individuals that's just learning to read, they're very focused on the visuals. When I did my first children's book, it was very interesting because I would go to Barnes and Noble and I would just like look at kids, and I mind you, like I would go to parents, I'm like, hi, just like, I'm Jodi, here's my business card. I go, oh, totally safe here. But I would compliment the parents. Were like, wow, your kid is reading at such a young age. And they're like, they're not reading. They've memorized it. We've read it so much that they know exactly what's happening, and then they've created their own story. So you think they're reading, but they've just like, they've combined the words and their brain together. And I'm like, that's amazing. So the visuals pop for that age group. Then you get to that age group of they're reading by themselves. They're able to actually read, and the association between the pictures and the words start coming together. So it's like that whole entire tactile learner where I can sit there and touch a ball, throw a ball. They're like learning but the reading because they've now seen the pictures and they've heard mom and dad or whoever is reading to them. It's now connecting. And then the connection of we go to these events. I remember reading this book. I remember looking at this book, reading this book. Now I'm experiencing this book. So it's that moment of, yes, I'm tired. I go, oh my goodness, like, are we reading this book again? It is 58 pages. And everyone's like, wow, children, like a picture book, 58 pages. It goes fast. It is a week. In one book, it is a week's activities, but it goes so fast and there's so much activities involved. And also, I'm a queen of loving Easter eggs. I grew up of the world of Where's Waldo. Every book that I've ever designed will always have two things. Number one, it will always have multi-generational. I took care of my grandmother for 21 years and she died at 95, 10 years ago. And it is so important to have that knowledge there. You have the children and then you have everyone in between. So you'll always have the different generational, but also the Easter eggs throughout the entire book. If you're from Marblehead, there's Easter eggs. If you're not from Marblehead, there's certain things that you're thinking like, oh my goodness, it's in my place. But then there's a list in the back saying, did you find? So it takes you back where I thought I saw this. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm going back. And so it's this, wait, are you sure? Wait, did I count as many? And there's so many times that people call or email or text. They're like, well, how many of this there? I'm like, I go, well, I can't tell you. How many did you find? Because it allows them to say, wait, I found it. I wasn't told what it was. It's a discovery for themselves in real life and in the book.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that your book celebrates intergenerational friendships. I think it is so important. I was talking earlier today to an author who had many mentoring relationships when she was young, which turned into her career. And so whether you're talking about a grandmother or an aunt, or you're talking about a mentor, that, those intergenerational friendships are invaluable.
And I think that a lot of people forget where there's knowledge around you, but they're afraid, like, well, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to bother them. I'm like, if you don't ask someone to be your mentor, you'll never know. And I try to mentor as many people as I possibly can. I was mentored. I mean, I have a mentor. Her name is Marianne Hurd. And I go to Marianne when I need her. Like when I need her. She lives in Newton. And when I met her, it was Marianne Hurd and a bunch of women that used to throw these very elaborate, beautiful cocktail parties for the up and coming young women. And it was like, you'd meet together as a group, and then you'd be separated in different rooms in regards of marketing or finance or law. And it was just like, it was wonderful just to be invited to the table, but also it really stemmed out, it designed my entire future of, I need to actually get to this point where I'm giving back. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I was primed. I was like prepared. I was like honed in where if you are learning all these different things, I go, you cannot keep it only in yourself. You have to give back. And that's like my mom and dad, my parents, first generation America, they literally came to for their American dream. And they said, like, if we are coming here for our American dream, what is going to be your American dream? Mm-hmm. You have to design your own. And when you do that, if you're not giving back and if you're not helping, if you're not making sure that someone else succeeds, you didn't do it right. We failed you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think it's so very, very important. Have you taken the time to sit back obviously you're mentoring people, you're meeting people, you worked in government, you're teaching. So those are people that you're affecting, that you see, that you can shake hands with. But you're going to be affecting thousands of families around the world. They're going to be snuggled up on the couch, reading, going to the festival. Have you taken a moment to let that sink in, and how does that make you feel?
In true reality, I haven't yet, only because I went into panic mode because the East Coast didn't get their books on time because of the snowstorms, and all production was shut down. So it was that whole entire concept of, we worked so hard and we got to this book, and then we're like, I go, no, people aren't getting their books because of the snowstorm. And so I haven't had that moment yet where I've been living, breathing, eating this. And so I haven't had even a moment to sit back and just read it again with all the pages involved. But what I am really enjoying is that one of my first book signings will be at a little Shoebies Marketplace in Marblehead, Mass. And people ask, they're like, why not a library or why not a bookstore? All these retail stores, all these restaurants, they need foot traffic. And if your festival or your fair or your carnival is not happening yet, let's find another creative way of getting some foot traffic in your doors. And so those are the moments where I'm going to get, like when you have kids and you forgot certain things and then you're watching them, you're like, oh, my goodness gracious, they did it like I used to do it. I'm going to enjoy watching their reactions of the book. And that's going to be my moment where, as I'm reading, as I'm talking to them, and I am a former teacher. So in the Brockton and Sharon school system that I taught, I have my interns, and I'm applying for a job at Salem State. To be a teacher. And so once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher, but those are the moments where I'm going to have that aha moment, and the moment of, let's just pretend this is me sitting on the couch enjoying this, but watching the faces, watching the reactions. When I'm hearing from adults, where I got an email this morning from an adult that received the book. They're like, I read it before I went to bed last night, and I was so happy. I went to bed happy. And I'm like, that's what I wanted. You went to bed happy. And in the world that we're living in right now, we want happiness. And I go, and if this could bring fun and happiness into your life, I go, you've had a busy day at work and your kids are just like, I go, can you just read to us? And you're trying to get them in bed, and you finally have that moment. You've cuddled up with them on the couch or in bed, and you're ready and you're reading, and you walk away having fun too. I go, and you're happy. Then I did a good job. Julia did a good job. Alexandra did a good job.
Yeah. I know that there's somebody listening to this and they're excited about checking out going to the festival. They also are probably sitting back saying, Jodi, where in the world you get all your energy? You're doing all these things.
I know. We just talked about how I run marathons. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, I ask my parents all the time, because they're energized people. Like, but they're not like me. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everyone remembers me for either my gray hair, because I've had gray hair since I was 18. So either they remember for my gray hair or my high energy, but it is who I am. I don't eat chocolate. I'm not a coffee person. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I did an interview with Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek back in the day. And he literally said to me, you must get away from me. You're annoying. Like, ouch.
That could be the title of this episode. She annoyed Dr. Spock, Mr. Spock.
That was like one of those prize moments where, like, I go, okay. But yes, either you like the high energy, or you're just like, not today. Not today.
Well, we should use some of that energy to tell everybody where they can go to find out more about going to the festival and find out more about you.
So I would say that we want to support the small bookstore. So if you can go to your local bookstore, you can order this book at any of your local bookstores anywhere. You can go online as well, but I go, definitely let's just support the local bookstores. And I am starting to get partnerships with retail stores as well. And so if you go to the website, which I'll share with you because it's long, but going to the festival book, it'll come up, and then you can actually see the different retail stores that we are starting to get in. We're starting to partner with, because we want to partner with the local stores. We want to partner with individuals that are 100% for literacy, because we want to get those books in the schools and in libraries without them having to pay, because we know that our teachers are already paying for things inside their classroom. So there's no need for them to like do this at added cost. So we're looking for great literacy partners to get books in schools in your local area, wherever like you want these books to be. And we want to make sure that the libraries have them as well, but without the teachers or the librarians having to pay.
And the website is goingtothefestivalbook.com?
I will give the, yes, it's a long, but yes, actually it's lcgbrands.com/going-to-the-festival.
We've had a great time speaking to the author of Going to the Festival. It's a brand new book from our guest, Jodi Tatiana Charles. Hey, Jodi, let's write a third book and come back to celebrate.
I would love to, Jed. Thank you so very much. You're awesome. Like literally, like I go, this is one of those moments where I'm like, can we meet offline? Cause you're fun.
Absolutely. We'll
if you're when you are 4 miles away from my door, I think that it would be insulting for us not to meet.
Absolutely. Jodi, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, this episode of Reading with Your Kids is brought to you by AspireDrinks.com. Hey, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever wanted a little extra energy, but not the kind that makes your heart race or leaves you crashing an hour later? Well, that's exactly why I want to tell you about Aspire Drinks. You'll find them at AspireDrinks.com. Aspire calls itself a healthy energy drink, and honestly, that description really fits. Instead of loading you up with sugar or extreme caffeine, Aspire delivers a gentle, steady boost with 80 milligrams of natural caffeine from green tea and guarana. That's about half the caffeine of most energy drinks, enough to help you stay focused without the jitters or the crash. It's also zero sugar, 0 calories, and 0 artificial additives, which makes it a great choice for parents, teachers, and anyone trying to make healthier choices while still getting things done. And get this, it actually tastes great, light, crisp, and lightly sparkling, with flavors like sweet cherry, raspberry acai, mango lemonade. That's what I love. No heavy aftertaste and easy on the stomach. Aspire is packed with B and C vitamins, biotin, and ginger. And it's vegan, gluten-free, keto-friendly, really designed for real life. And just for Reading with Your Kids listeners, you can get an exclusive discount of 20% off. That's the highest discount available when you shop at AspireDrinks.com and use our promo code READ. That's READ at AspireDrinks.com. Healthy energy done right. This episode of Reading with Your Kids is sponsored by Ramble Office. You know, before I tell you about Ramble Office, let me tell you about what travel used to look like for me. When I take the Reading with Your Kids studio on the road, it was like a lot. I had one box for the mixer, another case for microphones, a satchel for my laptop, cables everywhere. And I always felt like I was forgetting something. That's why Ramble Office really clicked with me. Rambo takes everything I used to juggle, tech, gear, personal stuff, and puts it into one smart, great-looking unit that's designed to be a mobile office, not just luggage. Everything has a place. Everything stays protected. And when you get to where you're going, you're ready to work. Instead of digging through bags or repacking your life every time you move, Ramble keeps your setup organized and ready to deploy. Travel days stop being chaos and start being productive. It's sleek, modern, built for people whose work doesn't stop just because they're on the move. And if your job follows you, whether that's podcasting, teaching, consulting, or creating, Ramble is worth a look. Go to RambleOfficeAnywhere.com, all one word, RambleOfficeAnywhere.com. Use the promo code READ, R-E-A-D, and receive 5% off any product. It's exclusive for Reading with Your Kids listeners. Check it out today, RambleOfficeAnywhere.com, promo code READ. Joining us right now from the great state of Texas, our guest is returning to Reading with Your Kids to celebrate her new picture book. It's called Bed Slime Blues. Please welcome to the show, Chris Tarantino. Chris, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Jed?
Wonderful, wonderful. Didn't wake up with any bed slime blues this morning. I was a little sore and stiff, but otherwise, no slime.
Wonderful.
This idea, you seem to relish writing about slime. You're here with Bed Slime Blues. The last time we were talking about the Valen Slime Day.
Yes, Be My Valent Slime was the first book. And since the title had the word slime in, and since it features 4 monsters, they really wanted to keep slime in this next title that also features the same 4 monsters.
Uh-huh.
So the original title of the book sold was Slime for Bed, and they weren't crazy about that. So I spent a whole weekend brainstorming just on the title alone, and ended up with Bed Slime Blues. So they could be singing the blues, the bed slime blues, like not literally singing, but grumping about it.
Right.
And so sales and marketing loved that, and off we went.
Awesome. So remind us who the 4 monsters are.
So the 4 monsters are Snoodle, Iggy, ZZ, and Fleck. Yes. And they're all different in size and shape and color, so they're very distinct for the kids to differentiate.
Yeah. My favorite name is Snoodle.
Yeah, she was the star of Be My Valent Slime. In Bed Slime Blues, decided that since the monsters represent the kids, they're the kid characters, that all of the monsters, including Snoodle, would not want to go to bed and have their own set of bedtime drama that they have to deal with.
Boy, my kids are grown now, but I do remember they were pretty good about going to bed because we would always read together. So that kind of alleviated a lot of the drama that you hear about at bedtime. But bedtime can be a very difficult moment.
Yes, and this book tackles it with humor and also with heart. And so there's chaos and drama, but each of the monsters kind of finds peace and settles down and does go to sleep.
Yeah.
And they go through all the typical bedtime things that kids go to, whether they don't want to take a bath or brush their teeth, or they want more snacks, or they want 10 stories read instead of 1 or 2. And then maybe my favorite is with Snoodle, because she can't find her bedtime stuffy. Every kid has a blanket or a stuffy or something that they sleep with.
Yep.
And her stuffy's name is Loppy, and she can't find Loppy, and she can't sleep without Loppy. So it's a big crescendo, drama moment. And it actually was a hard scene because I didn't want her to just look behind a chair and find Loppy. I wanted it to be a little bit more fun for kids. So I brainstormed on that a lot and ended up with detectives and clues. So when Loppy is missing, and Daddy understands, the severity of the situation, so he and Snoodle grab a magnifying glass, and together they search for clues. So they find Snoodle's slimy footprints, and then they find a ribbon from Loppy and a button from Loppy, and then you turn the page, and then they find Loppy, and all is well, and Snoodle is excited and then can't wait to go to bed.
Awesome. It sounds like there's a lot going on in this picture book. Picture books are typically 500-600 words. It sounds like you packed a lot of action into those 600 words.
Yeah, and the words in this book are maybe closer to 350, 400. So a lot of it is done through the art. Yeah.
How challenging was that for you to learn how to allow the illustrator to tell a big chunk of your story?
Very challenging. That's a hard one, especially for me. So it took many years to really learn how to write almost just half the story and leave the other half to the illustrator. It's tricky. It's tricky, and it is a learned skill. You definitely have to learn it and practice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there one technique or lesson that you learned that really kind of helped you master that skill, if you will?
I wouldn't say it was any one thing. I think it was just continuing to write, continuing to revise, putting your work in front of your critique partners, getting feedback, going to writing conferences, listening to writing webinars, and just rinse and repeat over and over again. As for me, now I maybe some other person it's one thing, but for me it was just whole continuing process. And as I went forward, I learned to write a whole story in less and less and less words, and to leave room for the illustrator.
Yeah. You mentioned revisions, and I have to tell you, one of the people, a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, you got this podcast, you should write kids books and get all these great stories. And I've written a couple of things, and I wrote some video scripts. And for me, the hardest thing was the editing process. And whether it was having someone look at it and go back and say, nah, it doesn't work. And like, that's it. It's like, what do you mean it doesn't? And so I start over, or someone coming back and having so many suggestions that by the time I finish it, I look at it and I go, well, this is a fine story, but it's not my story. That was really difficult for me. What about you? Is it, are you able to take the editing and the advice and the critiques a little bit better than I do?
I think that's a learned skill too.
Okay.
So I think it's very difficult when you're starting out, and maybe for years to come. But if you can allow yourself to just sleep on all the comments, and you don't have to agree with all the comments, but just think about the comments, and maybe there'll be some you agree with or some that will lead you into a slightly different direction. Because revision does make the stories better. And if you are going to be if you're going to be a serious author and this is your business, you have to love revision.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really happy that you use that word business, because that's what we do have a lot of authors and aspiring authors who are listening. And it's really important, whether you're traditionally published or especially if you're indie published, when you write that book and you launch it, you just started your own small business.
That's right. And I love that. And it does keep you busy because there's many, many aspects to it. And I think people have the misconception that authors sit and write all day at their desk. And maybe some do, but I find that the business side ends up taking up quite a bit of many weeks. Yeah. From emails, or I do school visits too. I get into the schools, so that's a whole nother thing that is pretty detail intensive, and you need to manage that accordingly.
Yeah. I did educational magic shows for decades, and it was an awful lot of fun. And I imagine doing your school presentations for a book like Bed Slime Blues must also be a lot of fun. Tell us, what would a school visit about this book be like? What could we expect?
Well, I have 4 different presentations to hit pre-K through 5th grade, because you can't give the same presentation to, say, kindergarten that you would to a 4th grader. So for preschoolers, it's about 20 minutes, and I have an introduction. We get behind the scenes with the illustrator. I read the story and we sing a song. And then kinder, 1st, 2nd, I also incorporate my books. And then we also talk about how a book is made, like what is the publishing process? How does a book go from an idea to a published book? And then for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I have 2 different, what I call writing workshops, where we We do some fun interactive activities together to pick a main character and give them a problem. And we talk about solving the problem and many other aspects of writing, but in a very fun, humorous, and interactive way.
Yeah.
And those all vary in length. So pre-K is 20 minutes, kinder first, second is about 30, and then the older writing workshops are 40 to 50 minutes.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Tell me, when you start a project, do you start with a what if, or are you creating a character, or are you remembering something that happened?
It could be any of that. It could just be you hear a word and it strikes you somehow, or you hear a phrase and you think, oh, that maybe could be a picture book.
Oh.
Or you're thinking about a character or several characters, or maybe there's a popular nursery rhyme you want to rewrite into some sort of new way with different characters, but kind of keep the essence of that. So there's lots of different ways to approach it.
Yeah. What about for Bed Slime Blues? Was it slime? Was it slime inspired, or was it a word or a phrase?
Well, for the second book after Be My Balanced Slime, actually my publisher, the editor, and the team decided that they wanted the next book to focus around bedtime. Since Be My Balanced Slime was holiday, they wanted a year-round title, and they wanted bedtime, which is kind of a perennial kids category.
Sure.
And so then I started, how would that look with the four monsters? And I drew a lot from my own three kids growing up, and then also drew from just other bedtime situations that I knew if I didn't go through them, that other parents went through them.
Yeah.
And that's how it started to formulate. And slime was always going to be in the title. It was just a matter of what exactly the title was going to be.
Kids love slime.
They do.
Yeah.
It's very popular right now.
Yeah, yeah.
All the toy companies are making it.
We kind of, I guess we missed it. I don't remember. I know my kids are a little bit older. The slime stuff started showing up on Nickelodeon. But we never made it in the house, and I don't remember ever buying it. And thankfully no one ever bought it for the kids. Our friends used to buy us the noisy toys.
Oh, okay.
Musical instruments and everything.
Yeah.
That's how they got us. But we didn't get the slime. So I'm kind of glad we missed out on that. The four monsters, were they inspired by, your kids or people in your life or a boss that you didn't like?
They were not inspired by my kids necessarily, or a boss I didn't like. I guess I just kind of invented them, came up with some good monster names, and then what personality and character traits would I want them to have? And that was done all the way back when we were doing Be My Balanced Slime. So Snoodle was always going to be kind of the unusual monster who loves everything and loves everyone. And Iggy was going to be the leader and kind of a take charge monster because he's big. And Fleck was going to be the STEM monster. He would try to solve problems, but it wouldn't necessarily go very well. And then Zizi, her main trait is she likes to eat things that maybe she shouldn't eat. She's a monster after all. So just things that I could play off of in future books, like in Bed Slime Blues. Yeah.
When I'm talking to authors of YA titles or even middle grade novels, I often hear the author say, well, the character really surprised me when they did this or that. Did any of the monsters surprise you with what went on as you were creating the books?
I think with Bed Slime Blues, I think that Iggy surprised me a little bit because he's the one that doesn't want to take a bath, and then he really gets into it because he finds his pirate ship and sings this little pirate tune. And I could have fun with the text then that is bed slime blues walked the plank and a peaceful night was now in sight. So I guess he surprised me a little bit because he's this, big kind of growly take charge monster. And then with the bath time scene, he kind of softened up and just, was real kid-like and just, likes playing pirates.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that. I like that a whole lot. Tell me, obviously your editors and publishing company love what you're doing with Bed Slime Blues. Is there plans for more sequels to come out in the Slime series?
Yeah, there's, in fact, I'm writing the third book. It's going to focus around the first day of school. So we're working on the title. Slime will be in it, and I'm not sure where we're going to land on the title. And it's the same four monsters. They're going to go to school, and they're going to be monsters, and they're going to be kind of nervous with the jitters and all of that for the first day. So it's going to be real monstery in the school and real fun. Here's a good example of revision. I had the story written. The editor saw it for the first time, and she's like, well, we're going to kind of go in a different direction. So I'm kind of starting from scratch, but I'm going to keep elements from my original. So not quite sure how it's going to end up, but the structure is going to be somewhere between Balanced Slime and Bed Slime Blues. So a little of each.
All right. I have to ask, but Bed Slime Blues, it sounds perfect for a song.
Does, right? Somebody should write the song.
There we go. Hey, let's tell everybody where they can go to find out more about Bed Slime Blues and find out more about you.
Just go to my website, www.christarantino.com, and you'll see all kinds of information about the books. And under each book is a downloadable free activity kit. There's slime recipes, there's coloring sheets, there's word searches, gratitude page, all kinds of goodies.
Awesome. Well, I am very grateful that you came on the show and we had a chance to celebrate Bed Slime Blues. It's a new picture book from our guest, Chris Tarantino. Chris, thanks so much for being back on Reading with Your Kids.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Reading with Your Kids and will join us for the next exciting episode of the show. If this episode made you smile or gave you something to think about, please consider leaving a 5-star review. Share the show with a friend. And, of course, subscribe to the show wherever you find your favorite shows. We'd also love it if you could connect with us on social media, facebook.com/readingwithyourkids, at Reading With Your Kids on Instagram, at Gently Magic on X. Our YouTube channel, youtube.com/readingwithyourkids. And our website is readingwithyourkids.com. If you are the author of a fantastic children's book, please visit readingwithyourkids.com and click on the author's Click Here button up at the top of the page. You can learn how you can be a guest here on the show. And being a guest is fun, it's easy, and it gives you the chance to tell thousands of Kidlet fans all over the world about your fantastic children's book. And also we'll tell you about our Certified Great Read program. That's a really wonderful program. And it gives parents the confidence to give your book a try, letting them know that your book is worthy to be considered as an addition to their family library. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful, starting with our guest, Jodi Tatiana Charles. Please be sure to check out Going to the Festival. And Chris Tarantino, please be sure to check out Bed Slime Blues. I want to thank my team, Chris Doherty, Jackson Sotelera. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so very, very much for taking the time to make the world a better, kinder, more empathetic place. And you do that every time you crack open a book and read it with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next episode of Reading with Your Kids.
Peace.